But yeah, got timer.
Okay, cool. Did you want to go now?
Like there?
That looks good, mate.
Okay. Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good day.
Him Forever Forward back with another YouTube video.
Connor and Michael.
That upload frequency, like we said in the last video, off the chart.
Bang on it.
Anyway, we won't waste time today.
No, let's get into
Quite
this.
an important one to get into.
Yep.
What we're going to do today is discuss this. Basically, there's this program coming up, so we want to tackle some issues around it. The program is called The Truth About Carbs.
The Truth About Carbs.
Which is not so much a truth about carbs. It's
the
more
lies.
the lies about carbs.
The stupid.
But what we're going to do
lies.
is dissect. Basically, I've got printed out an article talking about the show before it comes out. It comes out tonight, which is Wednesday, but this probably won't be uploaded until Thursday. So this will probably come out afterwards. However,
This article is written by the guy who's making the program.
this is on the Tuesday this came out, so
Yeah.
we're ahead of time. Right, so before we get into it, just remember that when we dissect this, we'll go into it in more detail, but how weight loss, and this is relating to weight loss, by the way, this article, it's all about weight loss. How weight loss happens is through calories. There's nothing magical about carbs, there's nothing bad about carbs. It's all about kind of finding what works best for you. We've said it about 1,000 times. Go watch our other videos.
There's so many other videos we've done about that.
So go check that out.
Watch those.
This is going to be primarily focused on kind of just dissecting this show in particular and kind of getting to the bottom of the false statements.
So the reason why we wanted to do this video is because we know we're going to get a lot of questions from our clients and people we see and on social media. And basically it's really frustrating when a client's like, oh, I watched a program on TV the other day by a doctor and he said that carbs are really bad for me. But so that's the opposite of what you're saying, and he's a doctor. It's like that has more weight than me being a personal trainer. And it's still a load of shit.
I'm just going to write doctor in front of my name without any credibility in front.
Right,
so people
fucking
believe me.
idiot in front of his name. Anyway.
Let's get into it. Cool. So, starting off with the title of this article, and obviously the show is called Truth About Carbs, but article says, the test that reveals if carbs make you fat. Chew on a cracker until it changes flavour. If it takes less than 30 seconds, you're probably in the clear. So that's the title of this article.
We know carbs don't make you fat. It's like, it all goes wrong in the title.
Yeah, so
it just starts off badly.
It's setting the scene for this whole thing. So, and it's got some points underneath. First point is saying, literally the bullet points underneath it, the subheadings are, carbs are considered an absolute no-no for people hoping to shed the pounds. We know that's not true. Like, there's so much research done into this now, where low carb versus low fat groups on equal calories and equal proteins have no difference in weight loss. It's been done so many times now, people just need to drop this, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the carbs versus fat argument is a joke now.
It's not okay for this to be a thing, because it's demonising food group unnecessarily.
That's the problem, is that food fear, like instilling fear and demonising it.
By the way, the whole, if something, we don't often look at articles like this, but if something sounds gimmicky and salesy and stuff like that, and
don't believe it.
It's not true. Hoping to shed the pounds, it's selling you on something, so straight off the bat. Anyway, it says that. And then, but new TV show, The Truth About Carbs, reveals the truth. We already know the truth, that carbs are very unimportant to weight loss so long as calories are controlled. If you tend to overeat carbs and that puts you out of a deficit, then carbs are the issue for you. However, if you don't overeat carbs and you're still overeating calories, you're still going to not make progress.
If a low carb diet works for you, great. If you enjoy eating carbs and still want to lose weight, you can if you put yourself in a calorie deficit. End of. That is it.
But that's the top bit. Oh, wait, and then he also says that it gives you the best ways to be clever with your carbs, because
we're not clever.
Yeah, anyway. Right, so the first section is kind of giving the intro to it. They don't state it as an intro, but it's basically setting you up for this test. Let's read, shall we? So, first little paragraph states, carbs have been my downfall. I love eating them so much that my 6-foot frame once ballooned to 19 stone as a result. In brackets, egg fried rice and custard tarts, if you must know, close brackets. I dropped that to 13 stone through dieting, but still have to constantly watch my weight. So,
can I just go?
Yeah.
So from this first paragraph, what you can know is that he has clearly lost weight before. He doesn't say he used a low carb diet, but judging by the fact he's doing a program about low carbs, that's likely what he did. So he's clearly biased. He's got a bias to how to diet.
I mean, the other things are, as like he says, love eating them so much that he belonged to that as a result. So he's saying that his weight gain was a direct implication of eating carbs. But do you know that? Like, were you tracking your calories? Were you tracking your carbs? How do you know?
No, it's
and also
consuming calories.
You're saying that egg fried rice and custard tarts is what did it. Okay, so you're saying the two food groups did it. I know you're putting it in there for a bit of fun and games, but
so it should really be called
the truth about egg fried rice and custard tarts. If you must know. Anyway, that's that. I think we'll just keep it a summary for this, just to make it a little bit
we could go
kind
on
of
forever.
thing. Essentially, what they're saying as this intro is the fact that that there is a kind of like good and bad carbs. They say that actually they make a good point that they shouldn't cut all the carbs out of the diet, but they're making an argument basically saying that carbs, in particularly bad carbs, are going to lead to kind of weight gain, prevent weight loss. It's going to cause like risk of diabetes and stuff like that, when we know that's not true. Diabetes is mainly genetics, excess calories, excess fat, body fat that is, and being sedentary.
Yeah, not being active.
So that whole bit, we know that's not true. So we won't get too much in specifics, but we know that these
apparently this guy doesn't.
Yeah, aren't an issue. The other thing that just cracks us up is the fact that he makes a comment saying about like how eating carbs more intelligently helped me control my weight more easily. Now, firstly, he always refers back to himself. This is the issue. You're just using a single case for this whole thing. Like, you can't just use individual stories because you don't know the direct cause of effect for that. Like, how do you know that was... Well, it was just down to calories, but you can't draw that conclusion and then give it to everyone else based on that one thing. It's like saying what size shirt I am and then saying every other guy and girl in the planet all will fit into the size shirt that I wear, which is just simply not true.
Also, when I ate more carbs more intelligently, is what he says.
Yeah.
How the fuck were you eating them before?
Yeah.
Like, well, it doesn't change how you actually eat them. Doesn't affect your weight loss. Being in a calorie deficit is.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
So the comment that really was cracked us up is, as a medical doctor with a degree in public health, I'm convinced it could bring similar benefits. One, I'm convinced it could bring similar benefits. That's not enough. Just because you're convinced doesn't give you enough.
But he's a doctor.
And he's a doctor. You know, the fact that doctors have terrible knowledge on nutrition, flat out. I think there's a survey done of like, do you know how many calories are in each macronutrient of carbs, fat, and protein? And the majority, like a huge chunk of them, didn't have a clue. And that's basic level nutrition. So let alone the dynamics of like all the other
Off the top of my head, I think it was
that.
like 25% or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
at a medical, wasn't it a medical university?
Yeah,
they did it?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So these people were studying. They were in the process. That's like where they're most fresh and stuff like that. They didn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah. So he's just throwing this as a medical doctor with a degree in public health in there
because it's way
to try and get you to believe him even more, which is just a shame that you should be doing that. Just a side note, you shouldn't just believe someone just because they're a doctor. It doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. Then
there are good doctors out there, though.
Yeah, 100%. All doctors don't have a clue. No, that's not true. The next bit they get into in this article, so the intro is all about how carbs are completely bad for you, which is ridiculous. Then they get into this test, okay? So this test involves essentially eating a plain cracker and then waiting for it to change flavour, basically getting that sweet through. So essentially they're saying that if you get the sweetness quickly, then you're more likely to be able to process the carbs. It gives a range of 0 to 14 seconds. Then between 15 to 30 seconds, you're kind of in the moderate ground. And then if it takes you more than 30 seconds to get that sweet taste, you're not a great processor of carbs. So the body is less able to use the excess as energy, and so it stores it as fat. So that's what the test is saying, that by eating a cracker...
Can I just jump in?
Yeah, go for it.
If so, the whole basis of this article is a complete joke. But there's for 1 second, imagine that one day there's a test that actually comes out saying that the truth about carbs, which is obviously not going to happen because we know the truth. But let's say there was a test, it really, really, really wouldn't be eating a fucking cracker. Like that's just that. Like end of the day,
it would crack me up if they did.
Holy, it's just mental.
Groundbreaking science and nutrition.
Yeah. The person that's done this is laughing.
Yeah, we were saying, weren't we? Absolutely cracking up.
Wow.
Like, so I sent this idea off, right, as a bit of a joke. We're having a laugh. I said that if you eat a cracker,
eating crackers,
and we're like, if you eat a cracker and you can't taste the sweetness, then you're going to get fat.
How quick did you taste the sweetness?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
yeah. We will get just to get into the science. So this is their scientific rationale, and I will get into what they're trying to get at because there is something to this. All right. They said, and this is Dr. Sharon Moellem, or however you pronounce the name, the Canadian geneticist who created this test, so it's definitely not going to be biased because they've asked the person who created this test, says that very slow taste change shows that your body doesn't process carbs efficiently. This leads to frivolous weight gain. No evidence. Anyway, the physiological mechanisms behind this test have not been nailed down completely. How are you making a program on something that hasn't even been proven then? You're going on about how important this thing is, saying that it doesn't, yet you say it hasn't been nailed down. Then it says it probably is genetics.
Let's make a TV program on what probably could be.
Yeah. Then, saying it's probably genetic, reflecting levels of amylase, an enzyme in saliva which breaks down starch into sugar for the body to use as energy. So... And then it says some people have saliva that is loaded with amylase, salivary amylase, not just amylase, up to 50 times more than others, and it breaks down carbs more readily. What I'd like to say on that comment is true that some people have a genetic predisposition to produce more of the salivary amylase than others. So that in itself is true. However, where this runs into a brick wall is the fact that there are other mechanics and other different systems in the body that metabolize carbohydrates. It is not just down to amylase. So just because you have more salivary amylase than another person doesn't mean that the carbs don't go through other processes in the body in order to be metabolized and used for energy. The other thing is it is all down just to energy production at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you reduce the carbs because of this salivary amylase, but ate a ton more fat, there would be excess calories and energy coming into the body from fat, which would lead to weight gain. But if you're in a deficit, and just because you're having those carbs, you still will lose weight.
And even if you were one of the people that did break down the carbs quickly, but you were still over-consuming calories... Yeah. Just because you break them down quickly, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. You're still going to gain weight because you're eating excess calories.
All these people do is take chunks of the metabolism process. So the common one is insulin. So obviously they're just changing their focus from insulin to the salivary amylase, which is ridiculous. You take snapshots of something that genuinely does happen. So this is something that happens. It's produced when carbohydrates enter the mouth. Insulin spikes when you consume carbohydrates. No shit. But the trouble is, it's not the whole picture. So you just take snapshots of a complex system and you don't get the full picture of what's going on. It's just like looking at a small section of a picture. You don't have a clue what's going on. So the trouble is, it's a convincing argument because it's something that's kind of true.
Especially to people that don't
understand it, yeah.
Because most people want to focus on that one thing as well.
The main area that I see this amylase actually being an issue, and it's more prevalent, more of an issue, is the fact that those that produce less of it will need more of that food, basically to trigger the same reward pathways. So they'll end up eating more of the food to get the same reward. So for example, if I produce less amylase than Connor, he would have, let's say, one sweet food, or let's say the cracker. You would get that reward from it because you get that kind of instantaneous sweet kind of sensation. However, because I don't get that as quickly, I would need to have more. So it's not the fact that I can't digest that, it's the fact that I'm having more calories from the crackers, not the fact that I can't process it.
Shock, it all comes back down to calories.
And then they talk about that kind of time limit. I don't have a clue who came up with the time limit and how it's been tested, but it's a load of rubbish.
By the way.
What I find really, really funny is the fact that they break it down into three categories. So people that can process it well, middle ground, and people that can't. The first thing is saying that the people that process it well can have around 250 grams of carbohydrates a day. They have that as roughly 4 slices of whole wheat bread. They don't have this proves they don't have a damn clue about nutrition. 4 slices of whole wheat bread is not 250 grams of carbs. For flip's sake, it's about maybe 50 to 60 grams of carbs for 4 slices.
Which is low, by the way.
That's nearly 200 grams difference to what they're saying. So that someone's going to read that. They're not going to know that 250 grams is way more than 4 slices. They're going to see it's 4 slices, and their carbohydrates for the day is going to be less than 60 grams.
Like, no, you don't.
That's not... You're saying that people can process carbs really well, can have a low-carb diet, like a really low-carb diet, in fact. It's madness. And then...
Yeah, that is low.
And then they say that the middle ground can have 175 grams of carbs. So top level is 250, second level is 175. So you've got a difference of 75 grams of carbs there, okay? Their comparison is now 3.5 slices of bread compared to 4 slices of bread. That means 4 slices is 250, 3.5 is 175. That means half a slice of bread equals 75 grams of carbs. Half a slice of bread does not contain 75 grams of carbs. 4 slices contains around 60 grams of carbs. It's not true. Then, the third group say that you can have 125 grams of carbs around 3 slices of whole wheat bread. So they've gone from saying that half a slice equals 75 grams of carbs because of the jump from the first to the second level. Now they're saying 3 slices of bread, which is half a slice reduction, reduces the total carb by 50 grams. So it's like, you say half a slice of bread equals 75 grams of carbs. Now you're saying half a slice equals 50 grams. That, like, it just shows the lack of knowledge in this whole thing. Like, the fact that they can't even work out basic mass of the slices of bread compared to that. Like,
the fact that they don't even know how many grams of carbs are in a slice of bread is phenomenal.
Based on
people
their
are making a TV program.
Based on their thing,
they're making
4 slices of bread,
a TV program.
4 slices of bread would equate to around 1,000 calories. So for someone with a 2,000 calorie maintenance, they'd have 8 slices of bread and that's it.
Wow.
Put that in perspective, okay? Here you go, real funny. 4 slices of bread, judged on their mass, would be around 1,000 calories.
Because there's 4 calories per gram of carbs.
Then, a McDonald's or a takeaway or a KFC or something where it's 1,000 calories. You're saying 4 slices of bread is the same calories as a fucking KFC.
Like a proper Zinger Tower box.
Yeah, like a KFC might be 1,200 or something.
Not like a little fucking popcorn chicken
so let's
box.
say 5 slices of bread is the same calories as a fucking KFC.
I'm really hungry now.
Like, it's just
that is a joke.
Stupid.
So
it's stupid.
This is the problem. These people are making a TV program about this that so many people are going to go and watch.
Yeah, and what, 11 people or 15 people probably watch this video?
Yeah, like 4 views. But I would rather this video get 4 views and you guys know that it's a load of shit than 4 people go and watch it and start fearing carbs. It's so bad.
Afterwards, by the way, after they've done the test, they say about strategies making carbs better, which is just full of shit. Like, full of shit from start to finish. I kind of stopped reading because I got frustrated. But one of the funny things that I really highlighted is the fact that they categorise carbs by colour. So they say beige carbs, white carbs, and green carbs. And they're saying that green carbs are healthy.
Why don't we just put green food colouring
that's it.
in all our carbs? And it's fine.
There you go, it's sorted out. And they're saying white carbs are bad for you. And then, later on in it, it says something about making a swap. Because they want to swap, like, macaroni or something to cauliflower. Because cauliflower's a green carb. What the fuck are they... If you're comparing carbs based on colour... Which is just... Colour is just the interpretation of light frigging things. It's nothing to do with the quality of a molecule and the chemical, so like makeup of a molecule. Like, at least consistency. Cauliflower's a white carb, actually. It's just as bad as white bread, and it's just as bad as pure sugar, actually. Like, come on, people. And then another thing.
So not only is it shit, but it's unconsistently even more shit.
It's just a load of rubbish. And then another thing they say is the fact that this bad carbs are broken down into glucose for energy, and then that glucose is stored as fat. A quick side note, when we talk about carbohydrate metabolism, we talk about glucose metabolism. All carbs get broken down into glucose.
Yeah.
Fructose will enter pathways and still come out as glucose. We talk about glucose and blood glucose because they're the pathways. So, yes, glucose, but funny enough, those good carbs still get broken down into glucose, I'm afraid. They still have effect on blood sugar, which is blood glucose levels, not some, like, other pathway. So it's just
They use the amount of time it takes to break it down as well, which is sort of related to glycemic index and glycemic load, which can be different person to person. It can vary based on how you cook things. It can vary based on how you what you eat them with.
And it doesn't take into account the serving. So for the GI, you get GI's rating of 0 to 100 or glycemic index, which is just basically saying how quickly something turns into glucose in the blood and is measured. It's based on getting a certain amount of like carbohydrate from that food. So watermelon, for example, has a high GI, but you have to eat like 7 watermelons to get that response because you don't have enough carbohydrates from it. So it's super inconsistent. Glycemic load might be more of an accurate thing, but it's just something you shouldn't worry about. It's calories.
So that's it. So you don't need to worry about that because if your goal is weight loss or if you're trying to maintain weight, the most important thing to you is being in a calorie deficit or maintaining weight, having an isocaloric diet.
Then they suddenly make a turn in this argument as well. Another thing to highlight about sports drinks and how carbohydrates are needed for energy. So they're basically saying that yes, carbs are needed for energy for sports. They're just basically making the comparison that energy is for sports. The biggest factor of energy intake comes from your BMR. That is literally just being alive. So energy is needed to sustain life and sustain systems of the body, not just for sport. Like, yes, it's a huge component, but don't emphasise on how carbs are just for energy.
Being alive takes up a lot of energy.
Yeah, but I mean, there are countless false statements in here.
We could go on forever.
But it is on at 8 p.m.
Wednesday night,
which will be probably tomorrow night. If you watch it, just know it's shit. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it. You probably will because I told you not to watch it. But just know everything is like
don't press the big red button. So that's kind of what they're focusing on. Don't eat carbs. Guess what happens? Bang, they press the big red button, eat carbs. To summarise, the reason why we're making this video is because people are going to watch this program, and because this guy's a doctor, people perceive that he has more weight behind his argument than 2 fucking PTs. But it's a load of shit. Like, the article, I haven't watched the program yet because it hasn't actually been aired, but if it's about the article, which it is, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
So please, 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 I don't want any of my clients or anyone I know and actually care about to watch this program and fear carbs afterwards, because you do not need to. Yes, if you want to lose weight, a low-carb diet is it's a method of losing weight because you restrict calories. When he says at the start about he lost weight, we presume it's from doing a low-carb diet. I think we watched a video on YouTube of why I lost weight or something like that. This Dr. Zand Van Tulleken guy. And he said he increased protein, increased the amount of veg he ate, and lowered carbs. What that does is decrease calories. Yep. He's in a calorie deficit. That's how he loses weight. That is how weight loss works. There's so many other different ways you could do it if you still want to eat carbs. So that's why we're making this video. We don't want any of our clients, because like you said, hardly anyone's going to see this video. Yeah. And hundreds of thousands or whatever, I don't know how much people watch TV.
A lot.
Are going to see it.
And so I would emphasise, I want to emphasise 2 things. Firstly,
it's a load of shit.
Yeah, that's it. If you're looking to lose weight, the majority of people that are looking to lose weight have tried so many different things. And this is, by the way, this is going to relate to why putting messages out like this are so damaging to people, is the fact that all these people have tried to lose weight so many different times, so many different methods, have tried. They are putting so much effort into it. Every time something fails, it's another thing that's failed. It's another reason for them to feel like they're at fault for everything after trying so many times. So then, this person who is vulnerable and thinks that it's themselves that are making all these mistakes. They're the shitty one. They're doing all this stuff wrong. And then this magic program comes along the side, promising them that actually they've been doing everything fine. Actually, all you need to do is eat a cracker and see what's going on and reduce your carb intake. Suddenly, it gives them a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. It gives them this false hope that that's the one secret that's going to basically undo all of the other things. There are so many factors that lead to weight gain and weight maintenance after losing weight, both from a physiological point of view, a psychological and an environmental point of view, that one secret doesn't affect all of those different systems that work together. So when a message like this gets put out, it is so damaging to someone because they are trying so hard. And this is lives you're dealing with. Like, this is genuinely people's lives, and also that you're fucking around with by putting out a false message like this.
Yeah. And also, people don't want to, like, this focusing, getting that light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, there's a test I can do that means I find out whether I can do process carbs correctly. It's sexier than us telling you, actually, we've just got to find a way for you to restrict calories. And we're going to try and change your mindset about how you
adjust
view
all the
foods.
behaviours, get habits in place.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so much sexier. It's one trick. Oh, eat a cracker. Bam. Like that sells. So many people will do that.
Compared to our way.
Restricting calories, it's like, oh well, actually, someone told me about that, and it's like, well, okay, well, why haven't you done it?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not sexy.
Yeah.
Some of our other videos, the truth doesn't sell.
Yeah.
So
that, I think we'll wrap up there. It was meant to be a 10-minute video. It's now a 26-minute video.
Yeah, we're really good at keeping these short.
I
guess we're just making up for lost time.
That was a fairly ranty video. If you want to read the article, it's on BBC. It's called...
Just want to touch on the rantiness. We usually don't like ranty videos or people that do ranty videos, because for someone that doesn't know this stuff about carbs, it can make them feel rubbish because it's not necessarily your fault. You don't know all this stuff about carbs. However, this guy's a doctor. He should know better. That's why we're doing this ranty video.
It's called The Test That Reveals If Carbs Make You Fat. Chew on a cracker until it changes flavour. If it takes less than 30 seconds, you're probably in the clear. Basically, just...
It was on the Daily Mail.
Search Daily Mail, Truth About Carbs. It'll come up, so you'll see. Anyway, hopefully this has helped some people. Clear it up. If you want more questions...
Share it. Share the absolute rubbish out of this video so more and more people do not believe this crap.
And that's it. Ask us questions.
Yeah, baby.